Hi, I'm Bill McClendon, Vice President for Church Growth in the Washington Conference. Recently, our administration and executive committee approved an additional church planting strategy for house churches. And today, I'm excited to share with you the details of this new strategy. Long ago, Ellen White wrote these words, "I saw jets of light shining from cities and villages, and from high places and low places of the earth. God's word was obeyed, and as a result, there were memorials for him in every city and village. The truth was proclaimed throughout the world." What are these memorials in every city and village? It's clear from the context that these are churches that she saw in every city and village. Let me share a little bit of history with you. In 2012, the Washington Conference had 91 churches and companies. 10 years later, in 2012, that number had only grown to 95. And while we're grateful for the growth of new work, we have a long way to go. Notice these statistics. Using the current population only and not taking into consideration future growth, there are already 40 communities with a population over 10,000 that we have no Adventist congregation. Someone long ago once said, "If we always do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got." We also face special challenges when trying to reach the large urban areas of our conference. The cost of real estate in major metro areas has forced most of our churches into suburbs where property is available. Unchurched city dwellers are not likely to drive to a suburban church to hear the Adventist message. Some urban centers are totally abandoned in terms of Adventist churches. And growing a church large enough to purchase or to build a building takes an enormous amount of time and resources. So how will we ever reach our territory with the everlasting gospel? One solution is the house church. While the idea is certainly not new, it hasn't been seen much in recent years. Think of some of the advantages of a church that meets in a home. First, it's highly interactive and relational. All members have an opportunity to engage in ministry. The resources are not focused on building and operating expenses, but on outreach and evangelism. A recent research indicates that a traditional church can spend anywhere from 82 to 96% of their financial resources on maintaining the building. House churches are an easier entry point for an unchurched person. All house churches can be lay-led, and multiplication can happen rapidly. I think you can see there's some tremendous advantages to house churches, but there are also challenges that come with this model as well. The greatest challenge is connecting a person attending a house church to the worldwide Adventist church. We believe we have a solution. Not just one house church, but a series of networks of house churches. This model incorporates both the public setting, which is a monthly network meeting and shared evangelistic outreaches we'll talk about in a minute, and the house setting for the weekly worship service. Let me explain. Each house church would meet in someone's house every Sabbath morning for worship. But one Sabbath a month in the afternoon, all house churches in a network would meet together in a nearby Adventist church for a special meeting. This monthly meeting would be used for fellowship, worship, testimonies, baptisms, and quarterly communion. We want to make sure the purpose of any church plant is evangelism. House churches are encouraged to grow through the multiplication of new house churches. Every house church leader should be mentoring someone within their fellowship to launch the next house church. The network of house churches participates in the shared evangelistic and outreach activities, including at least one public meeting annually. The offerings that are collected during the monthly network meeting could be used for this purpose. We are anxious to see what God will do in this new area of church planting. We are looking for lay people who are sensing the call to be church planters. If you would like more information, I invite you to contact me at 253-681-6008, or you can email me at bmcclendon@waconference.org.